Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
What is going on, team? And thank you for tuning in. We got a fun episode. Today, I'm literally just going to interview the wifey. Susie is going to go through a bunch of questions, and we're going to get a perspective from a woman who's done CrossFit for now 5 years. And I'm looking forward to you guys hearing how her journey has gone. So, with that being said, if you haven't yet, make sure you give us a rating and a review. And let's get into the episode. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. We in it, folks.
I'm back, everybody. Did you miss me?
How did Jason do last week, love?
He did freaking phenomenal.
It was pretty awesome.
I didn't know I could love him more, but I love him even more after hearing how, just his experience as a dad, as a CrossFitter, talking about his mental health, his family. He really kind of left it all out there for us to learn about him. And I respect the shit out of it.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, last week we had one of our awesome OG clients from, a couple months of us opening. Years ago.
Oh, I do need to set something straight for the record.
Well, hold on. Let me just finish so people know what we're talking about here. So Jason was on the podcast last week, and we had a really great conversation about, starting CrossFit, talking about his mental health, talking about being a dad, talking about running his own business, and it was really inspiring. I know him pretty well over the last few years, and it was great to get to know him on a deeper level and for other people to hear him. So
yeah, I think it's super nice when we have those guests on and allows the community to learn a little bit more about their peers. I feel like as their coaches, sometimes we know a lot about people because we get a little bit more direct interaction with people. But it's fun for the community to hear it. But I just need to set the record straight because you asked Jason at one point in the podcast, you were like, oh, Susie and you we're a bit rivals, and but you lift more than her now. And he was like, oh yeah, no problem. And I would just like to set the record straight for all the listeners that when it comes to the back rack lunges, I've beaten Jason at least 2 or 3 of the weeks. Okay,
so got you on almost all the weightlifting
so
stuff now.
Almost all the weightlifting, not all of the weightlifting. All right,
sorry,
my
Jay.
friend.
She had to call you out there.
I did send him a personal message already.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I have a few points. 1, you're awesome. 2, you're wrong. I lifted you on the lunges. And 3, thanks for sharing on the pod.
Yeah, you guys have some really good banter when you're working out.
He's one of my favorite training buddies from that point of view because it's like a sibling rivalry kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. We just want to beat each other all the time.
Yeah, it's fun to coach. It's fun to see, and yeah, you guys really push each other. And I was MIA last week. Took off to Vegas for a few days, which was really cool. But I got a really awesome video from you and a few others.
Woo-hoo.
What happened last week in your training, my love? I think Jason was recording this.
Yes. I got my first ring muscle up.
Ah, yeah. And shout out to the other people. Who was it?
Alexa. Alexa also got her first ring muscle up. Yeah. And one of our newer clients, Axel, he got his first ring muscle up as well.
Yeah.
And while we're on the discussion of people getting their first ring muscle ups, we're currently on week 10, right, of the cycle. Mm-hmm. We do 12-week cycles. If you haven't listened to the podcast before, if you have, you will know. But we're on week 10 out of 12 now. So last week was week 9.
Yeah.
And during this 12-week cycle, the gymnastics focus has been the ring muscle up.
Yeah.
And how many people have gotten their first ring muscle up so far, and we're not even done the 12 weeks? Could we name them all, do you think? Are we going to forget anybody?
Yeah, hopefully not. But first one was Eli.
Eli, for sure. He got it pretty early and then he's also been able to chain a few reps now.
Yeah. So Eli got them. Then I think after was Mike.
Mike, yes. Jess's husband, Mike.
Yeah.
We've had Tom.
Tom got his first one as well.
Yeah.
We had Maria-Liz. We had you.
Me, Alexa.
Alexa got her first muscle up last week as well, which was cool.
And Axel.
Axel, yeah.
I think, is that everybody?
I think those are the people who got their first ring muscle up.
People who got their first ring muscle up during this 12-week cycle. And
there's so many people who got a variation of the jumping muscle up or a dip or
the progress that I've seen in this movement has been so freaking cool. Even just what do you call that, a ring support, when you kind of lock out at the top of the rings, even if you're on the low rings. So many people at the beginning of the cycle were not quite able to stabilize themselves without a little assist from somebody on the rings, and so many people now are holding it like 10-15 seconds. It's very cool.
We've also been doing like Murph prep. So last week we did Murph, which was pretty cool as well. We've been doing like a lot of pull-ups as well. So we've done like a lot of ring transitions on or jumping muscle ups and ring muscle ups and lots of pull-ups and stuff. So lots of push-ups as well. So it's been cool to see people's upper body strength get really built in this 12-week training block. And some people got their first muscle ups, which is
crazy.
Insane.
Crazy.
I would not have guessed that this many people would have gotten their muscle up. I thought maybe a couple people would get their first one, but it's actually been really impressive to see how many people are getting their first muscle up.
I think
and how many
it's
people are getting
just
better at them.
One of those moments where you literally can't take it as any other thing than like if you show up to the training and you are consistent. The proof is in the pudding, you know? It's not like that one rogue person who was probably going to get it anyways got it. You know what I mean? Like it has just been week after week, and the vibes are so high, and everyone is cheering each other on. Everybody is just killing it. People are, who are working on their box muscle ups are getting lower and lower and making the rings higher and higher. And it's, anyways, as a coach and as a participant in the classes, it has been electric during the ring muscle up sessions.
It was cool to get those videos of you and Alexa last week and Axel and
I actually cried after I got it.
Oh yeah,
it was a very sweet moment.
It was really cool.
I cried the week prior when I didn't get it.
I watched it like 30 times, I think.
I still watch it at least 12 times a day, and it's been many days.
So
I made a little reel about it on my Instagram as well, because I feel like those types of things deserve a spot on the feed.
It's kind of like I made a reel on our Instagram of maybe a couple weeks ago when Malis got her first muscle up.
I think it was 2 weeks,
And it was just to show some of the drills that we've been working on. But obviously she didn't, and you didn't, or any of the other people didn't get their muscle up because of one session. It's because they've shown up on the days that there was muscle ups programmed, and they didn't choose to shy away from that, and they kept trying. Some of you guys even put extra work outside the class before and after class,
for sure.
And so it would be silly to say that you got it on one session. Unfortunately, those muscle ups don't happen after one session, but there's so many people that can't fathom the thought of being able to do a muscle up. But if you show up and you build your strength in your upper body pulling, and you understand how to transition the rings properly and how to even just necessarily hold the rings, because you have to hold it a special way to be able to transition over them, to be able to support yourself on top of the rings, to either dip out or to even hold yourself, because there's a lot of instability on the rings.
For sure.
So when you put in the time and effort and you do it over and over and over again, and like your video that you posted and like the reel that I shared on our Instagram, it's just failure after failure after failure, but it's not failing. It's just learning and improving. It's learning
after learning after learning. You're accumulating a little bit of more strength, a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more understanding, a little bit more muscle memory. It's so cool. And I just love it.
One other person I forgot, Coach Daphne.
Oh my God, how could we forget her? That was horrible. Daphne, it's just because you're so wonderful in every way that I just forgot that it only just happened for you.
So she got
Coach
it a few
Daphne
weeks ago.
too. She got it also like even much before a lot of the people we named, because she's just a superstar. Give her her moment here. Sorry, Daphne.
We didn't miss anyone else, but there's been a lot of people got their first muscle up, and it's really, really cool. And if you're listening to this and maybe you don't do CrossFit here and you do CrossFit at another gym, and you're thinking, I better change gyms. I'm just kidding. For our listeners around the world over here, if you're listening to this and you're like, man, like one day I hope to get a muscle up, it's just you just gotta practice it, and you got to get on the rings, and you got to do supports, and you got to do dips, and you got to do beat swings, and you got to do jumping muscle ups, and you just got to spend time on the rings, and you got to understand all this. It's arguably the most high skill CrossFit movement you'll do. And even if you're so far away from doing that, there's so many benefits to the ring muscle up and all the elements that are required for you to connect all those pieces.
Yeah.
So
you also have to believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I really think that's a huge element of it. And that's what even my father said to me. We were celebrating his birthday this weekend, and he was like, what I love about you getting your ring muscle up is a few days before you were like, on Friday, I'm going to get my ring muscle up. Like, you speak it into existence. And I feel like believing that it's possible, okay, within reality, you can't just believe it and not do the work, but you have to believe.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. And we're not going to be doing any gymnastics or muscle ups this week, unfortunately. Just the 1 week where it doesn't fit in this week. But
scandalous.
We will be doing it on week 11 and on week 12.
Amazing. I can't wait to keep practicing.
I hope that there's some new clients that we're going to be shouting out for getting their first muscle up. So, yeah.
I mean, to be quite honest, I think just listeners hearing us list name after name after name of people getting it for the first time. Cool. It's pretty freaking impressive.
It's very, very cool.
Well done, Brandon, on the programming, on the coaching, on the execution.
Like I said,
killer.
That's just a very, very small part. I can write anything on paper, but if you don't show up and you don't do it,
just take the compliment.
How many cool things
actually
I program.
all of our achievements are thanked to Brandon.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Let's do it.
We got a fun episode today, and we have no idea. We have no idea how this is going to go.
I love these types of episodes.
Because I've been away and we haven't been able to really plan this,
or talk to each other
that much, I decided that I was going to ask ChatGPT,
our BFF,
to interview
Chatty
Susie.
Boy. So Brandon was like, how can I do the least amount of work possible?
I was thinking, I feel like there's a lot of women doing CrossFit. And I think it would be cool to get a woman's perspective on her CrossFit journey. And you're sitting at about 5 years-ish.
Yeah, like on and off. Yeah, that's my problem.
On and off just because of COVID. And then
we were opening a gym.
Opening the gym, you did CrossFit, right? Yeah.
I didn't join a gym while we were in the process of opening a gym because
you were running, right?
Just felt weird about spending money on a gym membership when we were using all our money to open a gym.
Yeah. And so you were doing it for a little bit, then you decided to do some more running. And since we've been open, which we're coming up soon.
I feel like I've been ultra consistent for 3 years now. Like since we opened the doors of CrossFit Max, I've been hitting 5 to 6 workouts a week, even through pregnancy and everything.
It's true. So that being said, I'm going to ask ChatGPT. I'm going to type it up. I have no idea what it's going to spit at me. I have it typed.
How embarrassing.
I have it typed out, but I don't know what it's going to ask. So we're literally going to go rogue in this podcast, which should be fun.
Are we going to go rogue or gorilla?
Definitely rogue. So here we go. The question I'm going to ask, I'll read it to you, and then I'm going to click enter. And
okay, you haven't even asked. You don't know what the questions are.
I have no idea what the questions are.
Okay, so. I love this. I love spur of the moment. I love spontaneity.
Probably didn't prompt it for
and
good enough stuff.
And enter the edits right here because this whole episode flopped. Just kidding.
I typed in, I'm sitting here with my lovely wifey, Susie.
Nice of you to specify.
Hopefully ChatGPT will throw in your name, Susie, in there as well.
It would be so funny if it was like, your wife or your girlfriend, sir.
And we're about to do a podcast on women who CrossFit.
Yes.
What are 10 questions I should ask her about her CrossFit journey these last 5 years? Are you ready?
Love it. I'm ready. I just the biggest yawn of my life.
Here I go. We're going to click it. It's type in.
She's typing.
It's got the little buttons here.
Is ChatGPT a boy or a girl?
This sounds like an awesome podcast episode in the making. Authentic and inspiring.
Whoa. That's putting a lot of pressure on me. I'm feeling the heat right now.
Here are 10 thoughtful and engaging questions you can ask Susie about her 5-year CrossFit journey. Boom.
Did she spell Susie right?
I spelt it, so yes.
Well.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. Some of these are going to be kind of easy, I think, but for the newer people, we'll do like kind of speed rounds.
It's speed dating, Susie edition.
Yeah. All right. The first, so I broke it down into one, two, three
sections. Do we have
four
sections?
different sections?
Categories.
Yeah,
I love a category.
So the first category is CrossFit journey and motivation. Here we go.
Let's go.
I know this is an easy one. What first got you interested in trying CrossFit, and what were your initial impressions?
My first thing that got me interested in CrossFit was my boyfriend. My boyfriend at the time, now husband, we're married. But Brandon gave me an ultimatum pretty much. He was like, if we're going to date, you have to at least try CrossFit.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Here we are.
He's too hot to turn down. So I was like, let me at least try it before I judge it.
And what were your initial impressions?
You know, this is a toughie because part of my personality, I'm not like a good loser in life. I definitely really struggle feeling like I'm not excelling in something. So my first impressions were I really liked it. Like, it was fun. I thought it was fun to see you were coaching me at the beginning. You were giving me some private lessons to teach me the foundations of CrossFit. And I loved seeing you in your element. But I didn't like sucking. And I obviously had no experience. So when we're all beginners, we all have to go through the motions of learning. And part of that learning process is like not being good at the beginning. So I felt like that was a good mental hurdle for me to get over. But I do think that I struggled a lot at the beginning, feeling like I was comparing myself too much to the other people. And I was not being introspective. So I did struggle a lot at the beginning. But I really love getting my heart rate up. I've always been somebody who likes exercising in some form. So I did really like it. And I love the social aspect of being in a group. I'm very chatty, if you guys haven't noticed. So being around other people and doing a class, I really, really loved that. But it took me maybe like 2 or 3 months to kind of get the CrossFit bug of like actually looking forward to the workout element. I was more looking forward to going to the gym with my cute boyfriend and meeting friends and like chatting with people. And I wasn't so interested in the workouts until a few months in, when I started to feel like, oh, I'm getting the hang of it. Like, I know what the coach means when they say AMRAP and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a slow burn.
Slow burn. Second question.
Hit me.
How has your mindset around fitness and your body changed since starting CrossFit?
Good question. How is my mindset around fitness and my body? So I've always been super into exercising. I feel like I definitely lean towards wanting to be strong now versus wanting to be skinny. So like in terms of like physical, like aesthetic body, I was very skinny before, and now I'm definitely stronger looking, and I like that. I like feeling strong in my body.
Me too.
Brandon likes the booty that comes along with being stronger, right?
Yeah.
What was the other part of the question?
So how is your mindset and your body? How's your mindset around fitness and your body changed since CrossFit?
Yeah, I think CrossFit has really helped me build a lot of confidence. It's made me a much more confident person. I feel like I can tackle any challenge in front of me. I get excited about having new challenges to face. And I feel like I have so much faith in what my physical body is able to do. Example, getting my first ring muscle up. Like, I believe that I that my body can do something cool.
Yeah.
And if I work hard and train hard, I'm going to achieve my goals. And I feel like that translates into my whole life. I feel like I've always been a generally confident person, but I'm like much more confident now, I would say.
Nice.
Would you say?
Yes.
Oh, you hesitated way too much on the yes there.
I feel like you've actually been a pretty confident person most of our time together over the last 7 years.
Yeah.
So I think you are more confident now than what you were before, physically.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much more maybe mentally, you have definitely more, as your fitness has gone better, you've built more confidence in your
capabilities,
your fitness capabilities.
Yes.
So yes, I would agree with you.
But
you've always been.
I've always been. Yeah. I would say my dad blessed me with a big ego.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Number 3, what's one moment in your CrossFit journey that made you feel incredibly proud or surprised yourself?
Stand out, like off the top of my head, the coolest freaking moment I've ever had at CrossFit was getting my bar muscle up during the open this year.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a moment where I was like literally felt I was on top of the world.
That was very cool.
Actually, this year's open, I was kind of on top of the world the whole time.
You were. You crushed it.
I beat you in that first workout, top of the world.
That was awesome. Okay. We're entering a new category.
Oh, new category.
Training, progress, and challenges.
Love this.
Number 4, what movements or skills did you struggle with the most in the beginning, and how did you overcome that?
I think the movements that I struggled with the most in the beginning are probably things that I still struggle with the most now, which would be sort of weightlifting movements. I think probably the lift that I struggled the most with at the beginning was the snatch. It's such a high skill movement, and I was very mentally fearful of it. So I feel that I shied away from practicing it and shied away from even just trying harder on it. I think I kind of held myself back from fear on the Olympic lifts.
Yeah, but what did you snatch the other week?
110.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Very cool. That's a lifetime PR for me.
How did you overcome that?
How did I overcome that? I think just showing up to the gym, not skipping the days where it was on the workout, because it's tempting to do that, to be like, oh gosh, I don't want to do that movement. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'm not going to go that day. I stopped doing that. I just show up and I do what's on the board. And when it comes to those high skill movements like the Olympic lifts, it really does come down to repetition. Mm-hmm. You just got to go through the motions over and over and over again and use a weight that you feel confident using until you feel like you've really mastering the movement. And then just, there's no harm in trying. Add some weight, see what happens.
Love it. This one's going to be a good one.
Oh, that wasn't a good one?
No, I meant this question is going to be good for what you've gone through.
Oh.
How do you balance training intensity with listening to your body, especially through different life phases?
This is very pertinent. Oh my God, our baby's going to be 1 in 2 weeks.
Crazy.
So
Little
we've gone
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today, he's going to turn 1. So we've really gone through quite the last 2 years have been a bit crazy in terms of my physical capabilities and
you put on a
changes.
Little bit of weight, you lost a little bit of weight, no biggie.
just a little. That's pretty much it. Just a quick little surgery, like through 7 layers of your abdominal skins. But yeah. That's it. That's all. That's all. Can you repeat it? Sorry.
How do I balance it?
How do I balance
intensity with listening to your body?
Yeah, I think this one is, it's important to be aware of your body, but also to be aware of your, I don't want to say like mind or excuses, okay? Because there's like listening to your body, like let's say I'm pregnant and I need to listen to my body and I don't want to like push myself to a certain point. Mm-hmm. But there's also making sure you're honest with yourself and you're not like, oh, I'm listening to my body. I'm on my period for the next 7 days, so I can only do a brisk walk. And it's like, no, that's your mind playing tricks on you that you're maybe like feeling fatigued, so you don't want to go to the gym. But sometimes you also have to like talk to that inner voice and be like, girl, get real, get your booty in the gym and do your best. And maybe some days it's not as intense, but I think there's a fine line between balancing your intensity levels and making sure that, okay, not every day you come into the gym is like a PR day. Not every day you come into the gym, you're going 110%. But I think sometimes we can also get in our own way and trick ourselves into thinking we're listening to our bodies. Mm-hmm. So I think the way to overcome that is to be super honest with yourself and be really realistic about the expectations you put on your body. So if like me, for example, over the last year, like a year ago, I was about to give birth and I was still working out, but of course that
literally until the day before. 2 days
I have a
before?
video of myself doing snatches 2 days before I gave birth.
That's so funny. Like the last two questions kind of put them together.
Yeah. But what I was doing in that case is like, I'm about to give birth. I know in myself that this is not the moment in my life where I want to be pushing my intensity on my weightlifting. My goal in that session is to just like give myself a mental break, get my blood flowing, get my body moving. So I want to dial back the intensity. I want to save my energy.
Nice.
So you just have to really, I think honestly, you just have to be super honest with yourself.
Yeah.
But I really do think that sometimes people, especially early on in their CrossFit journey.
I'm sore. I need to take a rest day.
Yeah. Oh, my muscles are so sore from 2 days ago, so I need to take a rest day. I need to listen to my body. I hear that so often, and sometimes it's hard to push back on because you do want to encourage people to listen to their bodies, but sometimes your body's lying.
Yeah. Especially
And it's playing tricks on you. So I think it's also about getting real with yourself. Yeah. Getting real with yourself and being like, am I actually in need of a rest because I'm feeling depleted or I feel run down? Maybe I'm not 100% in my health or something. Or am I coming up with excuses and do I need to do the opposite and maybe push myself a little bit more?
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you tend to let your body push more than your mind.
Yeah.
And then I think what happens for not just women, but for everyone, the more you do that, the more you start to actually get in tune with your body and your mind.
I think you actually just hit the nail on the head. Yeah. The more practice you get in pushing yourself when maybe you don't feel like it, the more you understand that sometimes your mind plays tricks on you. Yeah.
Your body will keep going 9 times out of 10 before your mind will give up.
And I'm not telling you to like push till oblivion every single time you come in the gym, but also
some days it's just a check the box off.
Yeah. But I think it's also like get a little bit real with yourself, get a little bit honest with yourself and have that conversation with yourself. Am I holding back here because of maybe fear of being uncomfortable versus actual need for rest?
Number 6. Has CrossFit taught you anything about mental strength or resilience that carries over into other parts of your life?
150%. I feel like I talk about this all the time on the podcast. I think that when you can do hard things in the gym, it translates to your self-confidence outside of the gym.
Can you give specific examples for you?
Do you have something in mind? Like, can you prompt me? Can you give me a memory or like where you're heading with this? Like,
no, I'm just trying to think of like you pushing back your mental, like, should I rest? Or I'm trying to think like,
I mean, honestly, one of the things is
you just started a new career, a new job.
Yeah.
Like I would say that took a lot of confidence, and I feel like you started that with grace. For me, I find anytime there's a new adventure in life, I get very nervous.
Yeah. And I mean,
like
I'm not without nerves, but I definitely feel confident. You know what the best example I can think of, and I didn't even get to put it into practice, but when I was pregnant, I was not scared of the like labor portion of what was going to come. I felt like I have put my body through lots of tests, and I know giving birth is very different. I've done it now, okay? But I felt very like mentally like I can handle this, and I was like looking forward to rising up to that challenge.
Yeah, I feel like you're cutting yourself so short here. I mean, you did like 24 hours of labor here, and like unfortunately
it ended up with a C-section.
I don't think it's not, unfortunately. I mean, it is what it is, you know. And
no, but I'm just saying I didn't actually get to like have the glory of pushing the baby out, which I was really looking forward to, which sounds crazy.
It's because Tommy was just all snuggled into you.
He just like really wanted to come out the sunroof. So anyway, all this to say, but when I was pregnant, I was feeling really confident about that labor portion. And I feel like a huge part of that was because of CrossFit and how confident I have, how much confidence I've built in my body and my capabilities, and it has given me a tough mindset, which I applied to.
Yeah, I mean, just
my 30 hours of labor and then my C-section recovery.
Yeah, I'd also say just opening up this business, like it took a lot of adversity, a lot of hearing no's and pushing through and finding answers. And we are the I can people at this gym. You know,
1000%.
the one rule we have here is you're not allowed to say the word can't in the gym, because most of the time can't is a mental state rather than an actual literal I cannot do something. Most people will say I can't, followed by them doing it. So we tried to eliminate that word as much as possible. Like, okay, I can't do a muscle up. All right, well, maybe you don't have the physical capability right now, but we're working towards getting that.
Exactly.
Right? Or like, oh, I can't back squat 100 pounds. And you throw 100 pounds and next thing you know, you can back squat 100 pounds. And that happens so frequent. It was almost happening on a daily basis where I was like, all right, like it's enough. And this
we're done. Can't is canceled.
Several years ago, that was kind of something that I just started. Like in my class, you're not allowed to say the word can't, because the amount of people that would just say, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, can't. I'm like, oh my goodness, like why is everyone just saying I can't do something? I'm
why are
literally
people so obsessed with that?
People would be like running and be like, I can't run. I'd be like, you're literally running right now. You're running. I'm seeing you run. You're doing it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I think starting this business was something that we had to face a lot of adversity and a lot of pushing through and finding the right answers. So
I agree.
Just one example that I would
good example
into your life. Okay, we are
question 7.
On question 7, and we're entering a new section called Community and Empowerment.
Oh, I love the sound of that.
What's something unique about the CrossFit community, especially among women, that you've experienced or witnessed?
I think something beautiful about the CrossFit community, and especially working out with other women, is just the sense of like wanting everybody to be their best. Like all of us rally around each other. We cheer each other on. Everybody is here to support one another through all phases of life. And I think it's really, really beautiful to see, you know, other people celebrating other people's wins. You know, like I was just as excited about Alexa getting her muscle up as I was about myself getting my own muscle up.
Yeah, the you're screaming and cheering in the background of that video is unreal, unmatched.
Yeah, I tend to get really enthusiastic. I'm an enthusiastic gal, but it's true. I feel it deeply, even when you're working side by side with other people in classes. I feel it deeply in this community that everybody just wants everybody to do well.
Yeah, that's well said. Number 8, have you ever felt intimidated or underestimated in the gym, and how did you handle it?
Crushed him. Just kidding. I feel like in my early days of CrossFit, I felt intimidated a lot. Whereas now I realize that it's not about what other people are doing, and it's so much more about just like your own wins. And
going back to what you just said about Alexa, like you just want the person next to you to do
exactly.
That's how everyone feels.
And it's so hard because when you're beginner and you're fresh in the gym, you're ultra conscious of what's happening around you in terms of like, oh, they must be looking at me thinking I suck at this, or they must. And then like a few months in, you realize, no, they're looking at me because they're so proud of me and they're cheering me on, and it's not because they're judging me in any way. But it does take like a little bit of getting used to, because we're programmed by society to like think that way, especially as women. We're pitted against each other all the time. And then you get into a space that's so awesome, like this one, where it's just like everybody's each other's biggest cheerleader. And so it does take a bit of getting used to. So I did feel really intimidated at the beginning. And that was only because of what was going on inside my own brain, and had absolutely nothing to do with what other people were doing. And it just took learning and understanding the culture of CrossFit to realize that it's not so scary. But it can be really scary at the beginning because, you know, all these people are lifting crazy weights and making loud noises and doing all these cool things and taking their shirt off and all these things. And then you got to get into it and you're like, oh no, this is just like the coolest crew of best friends ever.
The best vibe.
Yeah, it's just good vibes, high vibes.
2 more questions to go.
2 more questions.
This
Hit
next
me.
one is kind of a follow-up of that one.
Okay.
So the new category here is advice and reflections.
Love.
Number 9 is, what advice would you give to women who are curious about CrossFit but feel hesitant or intimidated to start?
Like, run, don't walk. Like, get your booty in a CrossFit gym. You won't regret it. I think that there's a reason that we have more women than men in our classes. It's because it's just such a beautiful experience for women. It's so stressful coming in. I had a free trial this morning and I said to her, I said, you've done it. The hardest bit was getting here today, because once you get inside the walls, hopefully, especially if you come to CrossFit Max, we are going to hold your hand. We're going to walk you through. We're going to make you feel welcome. We're going to show you kind of the structure, the blueprint, and, you know, showing up is definitely the hardest part. But I think that once you're inside the walls of the gym, you got to push through. Those first few weeks are tough. They're physically tough. They're mentally tough. But you're going to meet the best friends you're ever going to have. You're going to get the physique that you've dreamed of. You're going to do all of these things. If you keep showing up and putting in the effort when you're here, like, your life is going to change forever.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Oh, no, wait. I'm a man. Where are my dudes at? We need more dudes also.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 10. Here's the reflection. Well, maybe not reflection. Anyways, let's go into it. Let's see. I'm interested to...
He's licking his lips and moving his hands here, folks.
It's been a fun 5 years. Question
Are you breaking
10.
up with me?
It's over. Where do you see yourself in your CrossFit journey over the next 5 years? And do you have any specific goals or dreams?
I definitely am in my CrossFit fit mom era right now, and I feel like I am chasing and crushing my fitness goals, and it's lighting a fire on my bum. I'm really excited. Brandon and I are competing together for like the first time ever in a competition in the end of August.
August 30th.
And we never really get to do that. So I'm really excited about that. So I really do want to like sign up for more competitions and really start to push the boundaries on my capabilities and get myself uncomfortable.
You're going to do Turn Up the Heat with Justin?
Yeah, which
cool.
I feel like it's going to be really fun, and it's really going to push me out of my comfort zone. So I really do want to be a little bit more competitive with my CrossFit. I would love, my big goal would be to be in the top 10%. Is that what we say?
Top 10%, yeah.
Of in the open.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a leap. I was at the 86th percentile finish last year, but I feel like I've gotten some more high scale movements. Big goal for me would be to really work on my weightlifting, get my numbers up in terms of weightlifting. But yeah, I feel like I really want to be competitive. So I want to sign up for competitions. I want to get after it. I do think, even though I can't fathom the thought right now, I do think we will have another child. Yeah. So I do want to, again, work out through my whole pregnancy again. And I want to have another postpartum comeback. I mean, we're 1 year out from when we had our baby, and I'm the fittest I've ever been in my whole life, for sure. So I feel like the challenge of going through that again, I'm mentally so prepared for, because I'm like, it's a blip in the, like, it's so fun coming back to your fitness after being kind of put a little bit on the intensity burner. You know, you kind of have to put yourself on the wayside and just focus on moving and being healthy, and the intensity comes down while you're pregnant and when you're recovering. But I think that the thought of going through that challenge again is exciting versus intimidating this time around, that element of it. But yeah, I want to be competitive. I want to sign up for competitions. I want to get, I want to start chaining my muscle ups together. I want to be consistent, maybe do some butterfly pull-ups, and I want to start lifting heavier. That's kind of my focus.
Boom. That was awesome, love.
Thanks.
Hopefully people are feeling as inspired as I am about your story.
Thanks.
That was great. That was awesome.
Was it really? Thanks, ChatGPT.
So shout out ChatGPT for these 10 awesome questions.
Cool.
We end the podcast the same way every single week with Client of the Week.
Pew, 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 pew. By the way, Jason did a great job of that in the pod.
Did he?
Yeah. He gave me a high-pitched pew.
So this client is someone very, very new,
fresh into the community,
to our gym, but they're not new to the podcast.
Yeah, long-time listener.
They've been listening to the podcast for a while, but they were living
in New York.
And now they've moved, very local, minutes away from the gym.
Yeah.
And they signed up last week.
Yes.
And they started their foundations.
That's right.
They crushed it. 3 sessions last week.
Yeah, she's doing so freaking well.
She's a mom.
She sure is.
Of one of our members here.
Yes.
And her name is Val.
Go Val! We're so lucky to have you in our community. It can be so intimidating, like we spoke about on this episode, and you've risen up to every single challenge. You faced it, all the challenges in the workouts we've done together so far in our foundations together with just such courage. You're such a can-do attitude. It's been really fun to start this process with you.
And who is Val?
Val is Tom's mom.
Shout out to Tom bringing his mom to CrossFit.
Her and I are already bonded because we both named our baby boys Thomas. So I just know that she's going to be a great gal in the community. And I think that she's feeling excited and nervous about her start to CrossFit, just like we all are at the beginning.
Heck yeah.
She's still in her foundation. So if you guys see me working with her one-on-one, don't be shy to come over, give her a high five, give her a little bit of encouragement.
Yeah, she'll be starting the group classes next week.
Starting next week. Yeah, we got 2 more sessions to do one-on-one this week, and then she's in those group classes. But she's been thriving. She's an example of exactly what we want from people. We want them to rise up to every challenge, to come in with a good mindset. Nobody expects you to be able to do the movements. Nobody expects you to be super fit when you walk in the door. That will come over time. So she's doing all the right things, and it's super inspiring to watch. And thank you, Tom, for bringing your mom to the gym.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys got some good value out of this episode. If you want to share it with someone who you feel like you've been trying to convince, maybe one of your friends, and you've been telling them for a year, 2 years, maybe so many freaking years you can't even count anymore, and you just want them to start CrossFit, then send this episode to them, and hopefully they'll hear those 10 lovely answers from Susie, and they'll feel inspired. And if you haven't yet, make sure you give us a rating and a review, as it will help our podcast get out to some other people. So
let's go.
We'll catch you in the next one. See ya.
Bye.